It is very important to understand that it takes both the Old and the New Testament to fully explain who God is and why it is necessary for us to be saved. Those who only read the New Testament get the wrong picture of who Jesus is and why he came to the earth in the first place. They only see the Jesus of love and mercy. God loved us enough to give us a way of salvation. If you refuse his way of salvation, you have refused his love, and he owes you nothing. New Testament only readers miss the point that God is a jealous God who will harshly judge their wicked ways. Don't miss the point that there are things God hates, and God will destroy the things he hates.
Deuteronomy 12 verse 31. You shall not worship the Lord your God in that way, for every abomination to the Lord which he hates they have done to their gods, for they burn even their sons and daughters in the fire to their gods. Proverbs 6 verses 16 to 19. These 6 things the Lord hates. Yes, 7 are an abomination to him. A proud look. A lying tongue. Hands that shed innocent blood. A heart that devises wicked plans. Feet that are swift in running to evil. A false witness who speaks lies. And one who sows discord among brethren.
These are just a few examples of the things God hates. To learn about the God of judgment and the destruction of the things God hates, read about the flood of Noah's time. God destroyed everything on earth because they were given to sin continually.
Genesis 6 verses 5 to 7. Then the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And the Lord was sorry that he had made man on the earth, and he was grieved in his heart. So the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, creeping thing and birds of the air, for I am sorry that I have made them.
God destroyed everything and only saved 8 souls. Don't think he won't do such again. God did promise not to destroy the earth with water again, but there are many other ways to destroy all life on a planet. Just read the book of Revelation with all the seals, bows, and the wrath of God being poured out on those who worship the beast. How about Sodom and Gomorrah? Before God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, he went and talked with Abraham. Abraham tried to intercede for the people by asking God not to destroy the city for the sake of the righteous. Abraham started counting at 50 and got all the way down to 10 righteous as he tried to talk God out of destroying them.
Genesis 18 verses 23 to 24. And Abraham came near and said, Would you also destroy the righteous with the wicked? Suppose there were 50 righteous within the city, would you also destroy the place and not spare it for the 50 righteous that were in it? Genesis 19 verses 24 to 25. Then the Lord rained brimstone and fire on Sodom and Gomorrah, from the Lord out of the heavens. So he overthrew those cities, all the plain, all the inhabitants of the cities, and what grew on the ground.
Sad to say, there were not 10 righteous people in those cities combined. Because of their wickedness, God poured out fire and brimstone onto both cities and utterly destroyed them. Look at these images of what is still left of those cities today. They are still covered in balls of sulfur. Nothing will ever live here again. Then we have the destruction of Pharaoh when God brought the Israelites out of Egypt. The plagues God sent on Egypt had them destroyed before the Israelites set out for the Promised Land. Most of those same plagues are loosed on the earth again in Revelation to punish those who chose not to serve God. After killing all the firstborn, including Pharaoh's own son, God destroyed the entire Egyptian army in the sea.
Exodus 14 verses 27 to 28. And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and when the morning appeared, the sea returned to its full depth, while the Egyptians were fleeing into it. So the Lord overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea. Then the waters returned and covered the chariots, the horsemen, and all the army of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. Not so much as one of them remained.
Next, we have the many stories of Joshua conquering the cities of the Canaanites. Every one of those cities were populated by people who had chosen to be an enemy of God. In many of those battles, God tells them to utterly destroy the people. Every man, woman, child, and beast. No mercy was to be shown to those who mocked God or attacked his people.
Joshua 6 verses 20 to 21. So the people shouted when the priests blew the trumpets. And it happened when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat. Then the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they took the city. And they utterly destroyed all that was in the city, both man and woman, young and old, ox and sheep and donkey, with the edge of the sword.
God does not change. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. God did not show mercy to those who defied him in the Old Testament. God did not forgive those who chose to live in their sin and enjoy the things of this world. God supplied us with one way of salvation that he approves of. Nothing else will be accepted. Nothing else will be tolerated. God will destroy every person that is not marked as his. Those marked as his will have their names in the book of life. Continue to study to find out what the Bible says that one acceptable way of salvation is.